There was definitely a time in like the mid to late 2000s where I thought the same thing about the Giants, and I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't because
You know
I
that
knowing me, the first year I switch allegiance, the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl. So I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah,
In
I
2000,
tried with the Giants a little bit too before I was really a football fan. My first game I ever went to was a Jets game, but I just couldn't get into the Giants. They're always boring to me for some reason.
My brother's a Giants fan. He got me into baseball, so that's the main reason I'm a Yankee fan.
Okay.
He says he let me down on football. He didn't try with football. I discovered the Jets on my own.
Yeah, that happened to me too.
In the big inning, there was baseball. It is Tuesday, May 14th. I'm wearing pants. That's right, I'm wearing pants today. I'm CJ. Welcome to the show. You can catch me on Twitter at CJ in Pinstripes. Almost forgot my own Twitter handle. How you doing today, Evan?
I'm doing good. This is 27 Down, the perfect podcast for the perfect game. Let's just get right into it.
By the way, what's your pants status right now?
I have pants on.
Okay, great. Love to hear it. Yeah, we got some things we can talk about. I have a fun little exercise for us. A little later, though, I do want to get to there have been some interesting happenings in the whole Oliver Luck versus Vince McMahon saga.
Yep.
So there have been some hearings. Some of it has gone public. So for those of you who don't know the story, Vince McMahon pulled one of the most Vince McMahon moves ever and fired a bunch of people before the XFL officially shut down. One of them being Oliver Luck, not only the father of Andrew Luck, but the commissioner of the XFL. And by firing him before the actual thing folded, he now no longer owes him the rest of his contract. This triggered Oliver Luck to take Vince to court because, hell yeah, why wouldn't you? That's just such a Vince McMahon move. I mean, I've been a wrestling fan my whole life, so I know the man and how he works in business. He's a shady guy. He's a real shady guy. I mean, he's had to testify in front of like federal courtrooms because the whole steroid thing back in the early 90s. Like he's just a shady dude.
Yep. I don't trust him at all. Yeah. I actually think he's lying completely in this situation, and I hope he loses.
So here's the thing. So, what has come out is that Vince McMahon has said, no, I didn't just fire Andrew Luck. Not Andrew Luck. Wow. I didn't fire Oliver Luck just for shits and giggles. I fired the guy for actual cause. So what is it that I keep saying Andrew Luck. What is it that Oliver Luck did? Well, three things specifically were cited. The first is that Vinnie Mac said that Oliver Luck completely stopped working when once coronavirus hit, that Oliver Luck just started doing nothing. Another is that, now keep in mind, the XFL didn't have team owners. So it was really the commissioner's office that would sign players. All of the teams belonged to the XFL.
Right.
So that means that Vince McMahon had to approve all signees, while Oliver Luck signed someone without Vince's approval and then refused to cut the guy.
Yeah, basically Vince doesn't want anyone with a past criminal background or a bad reputation in any form to be part of the league. And I believe Oliver signed a wide receiver who got in trouble with drugs or something.
Right. So that was a big no-no. Vince wanted him gone, and Luck basically said no. That was the second thing. And the third is personal use of his work phone. So an XFL phone that was given to him, a business phone that he was not supposed to use personally, that he was using personally. And apparently there are forensic investigations being done on that phone to see what the extent of that was. if this is all credible, that doesn't necessarily mean that Vince wins, however, because Oliver Luck in his contract had a guaranteed, they called it a 30-day cure period, which basically means,
Right.
hey, Ollie, fix whatever you're doing or you're out of here. And apparently Vince didn't hold to that, but I also don't know if that qualifies for every single thing. Like, I feel like using your work phone when you're not supposed to as a personal phone isn't exactly something that you would say, okay, you have 30 days to fix yourself from doing that. Like, I feel like there are certain things that are, you did it, you're out of here.
Right. I don't think any of these things seem that big to be fired for, especially the fact that McMahon told him to fix the wide receiver talent in the league. He said it was lacking, so he went out and he got the best guy who just happened to have, a drug issue, which
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what the issue is. He's probably just smoking marijuana. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this, football players are not the most level-headed people on planet Earth. From young ages, they are told to run at people at very high speeds and knock them into the ground. The harder, the better. These are not the most wound tightly players on earth. And I'm not saying all NFL players are psychopaths. That's not what I'm saying at all. But there is a higher likelihood of NFL players to, not exactly do the right thing.
yeah, I
If
mean,
you're if you as a league are not willing to work with guys who have checkered pasts, you're kind of locking out a lot of talent. Now,
yeah, a lot too, especially when you are, a developmental league that's trying to build something for the next level or before it. You can't really pick and choose from a large level of talent because the pool is much smaller than it is for the NFL.
yeah, and like, come on, man, you don't want Johnny Manziel. The XFL doesn't want Johnny
It
Manziel.
would have brought in so much, even if they had Tim Tebow play right now, the draw would be huge.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Tebow's kind of doing his thing. Tim Tebow's a good little Christian boy. He doesn't have a past, but Johnny Manziel does. And what I'm getting at is
No, my point is
your
that it's a
insane
name.
rules. Yeah, your insane rules are stopping like talented. Johnny Manziel's not talented for the NFL, but he could probably do some damage in the XFL.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he has talent. I just think he's such a.
I don't think he has talent. That's where
Okay.
that's where I disagree with you. I mean, yeah, in college football, the guy was really, really good at making nothing plays become something, but you can't do that in the NFL, first of all. And secondly, the reason why they were nothing plays when he was in college was because he would miss all of his receivers. He would see nobody's open when everyone was open. There'd be two guys wide open, and he's looking at his check down guy going, crap, what do I do? How about throw the ball to one of the open guys? I feel like he didn't have a smart football IQ.
Okay.
But in the XFL, I mean, those guys are terrible. I mean, the defense is awful in the XFL. The offense is awful. The talent was bad.
It was not a fun league to watch. I tried, but
I mean, the AAF wasn't great either, but it had more talent than the XFL did
yeah.
for all 4 weeks that it lasted. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. It's now, I guess, up to the court to decide: did Vince McMahon did Oliver Luck deserve to be fired for all of this? Did he act in a? And I'm sure.
I mean, one of the things that they seemed upset about was when the pandemic hit and they were about to lock down Stanford. He left the work offices in Connecticut and went back to his house in Indiana or whatever. Vince McMahon complained about that and said, no, he's not doing his duties because he's not at the office, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And Oliver was basically like, I'm preparing the budget for 2021 season. What are you talking about?
Right. So I would say that first one is BS. The other two,
yeah.
it kind of depends. It depends on how the courts see it. The courts do tend to side with like private business practices as long as they're not like, you must work here with your pants off. Like, obviously they wouldn't approve of that. But I mean, if a company,
you would love that job.
hell yeah, I'd have my pants off all the time. But if we're talking like a company doesn't want to hire people based on their checkered past, and the owner of the whole thing wants to sign off on all signings, I
Right.
mean, that might be an argument for Vince. That might be an argument, and it just depends on how the courts are going to
I
rule.
mean, McMahon comes off as a control freak here, and
Oh
we've
yeah,
seen that. We've seen that so much in his past. So
yeah.
I.
I mean, the guy doesn't even like it when people sneeze in meetings, which is
Oh my
insane.
god!
He has gone off on people for sneezing before,
Wow.
which makes me wonder, like, does Vince not sneeze? How do you not sneeze, Vince? How do you stop yourself from sneezing?
He controls sneeze. He probably doesn't blink either when he sneezes. Like
Yeah, the few times
he's the
he does
one
sneeze.
person who can do that.
Yeah, because he's probably a lizard. Let's be honest. So
Okay, I need help picking a movie for later, so you're gonna help me do that right now, all right?
okay, what is there anything you're kind of? Oh, you're giving me options. Okay, all right, good movie. So Hot Tub Time Machine is the first one. Anchorman 2 is the second. How many options you giving me?
6.
Okay, cool. All right. Third one, Talladega Nights. Okay, another funny one. Yeah. I see we're leaning comedy today. Spaceballs is a great movie. Okay, keep going. And we got Zoolander. Okay. And Tommy Boy. Oh, man. These are such good options, but I'm going to say Spaceballs.
I like it. I was hoping you would pick Spaceballs or Zoolander. I'm in the mood
Yeah.
for those two.
Yeah, I like Spaceballs a lot. I mean, my favorite Mel Brooks movie is Blazing Saddles, but a close second is Spaceballs.
What are some other ones he did that were pretty good? High Anxiety, right?
Yeah, he did Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yep.
Was Young Frankenstein a Mel Brooks movie?
I think it was.
I could be wrong about that, but
That sounds familiar.
yeah, I mean he's got some good ones. He's got some good ones, but yeah, out of all of those, I would say Spaceballs. I'm a big fan of that movie.
Yeah, Spaceballs is so good. I'm excited to watch that tonight. Thank you, people.
Over the weekend, we watched the entire Austin Powers trilogy.
Yes.
I think that Goldmember gets a really bad rap. I think Goldmember is actually really funny. I don't really understand why people dislike it. I mean, I guess I can see because like they recycle a lot of jokes from the previous movie.
Right, but that's their style. That's part of it. I don't care.
Yeah,
You know,
they're
like
still funny.
the first one was so brilliant in how it set up the rest of them that it's by the time you get to the third one, I don't care that it's not as good as the first because you can't measure it that way. The first one's a masterpiece. The third one's a very good comedy.
It's still really funny. It's still a really funny movie, and I will fight anyone who says that.
Yeah, no, I actually did that with my wife about 3 weeks ago. We watched the entire trilogy in about a week.
There you go. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, she comes home from work, and we watch about half a movie every night. So.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Now I'm glad we have that settled. I have a fun. Oh, before we get to our fun exercise, let's talk about something not so fun. So Blake Snell and Trevor Bauer have both come out to say that it's not worth it to play for half the salary.
I mean, they had already agreed to take a pay cut, and now MLB basically wants them to take more so that they can make better profit, and I don't think that's fair. And I think there's going to be a lot of issues with that. And if they continue to trend down this path, yeah, we're probably not going to have baseball because, like we said, if you get much lower than 82 games, it's not worth it regardless.
Yeah, so you're right, and it starts to become a question of how is this going to happen because the proposal is that owners and players will share a 50-50 split of the money that comes in. And that's not good enough for the players. But if you see it from the owner's perspective, I get that baseball teams are swimming in money right now. But I don't see, like, the players don't seem to understand how is a team that has had no gate for 3 months, no gate for 81 of the 162 games, how is that team going to pay a Major League Baseball team for a full season when
Yeah.
they don't have half the season's money.
It's a billion-dollar industry, and they're already losing about 40% of that pot
Yeah.
or whatever. It might be lower, might be higher, but it's around that number, I'm pretty sure. That's an issue. That's an issue, and it almost brings up the argument, the female soccer players, they're fighting for more money, but they don't bring in the same draw. Well, if you don't bring in a draw, you can't, give them that money. It's the same thing now. There's no games.
Right. Pay is exactly proportional to the amount you are capable of bringing in. It's
Right.
not how difficult is your job. The men's soccer team and the women's soccer team have the same difficulty of job. That has nothing to do with it. It all has to do with how much are you worth, and you're worth more if you draw more. By the way, I'm pretty sure that the United States whatever committee. You know what? I'm not going to get into this argument. Never mind.
It's a tough argument to get into because you sound like a sexist if you do.
Right. So that's why, 27 down, ladies and gentlemen, does not do politics. So I'm actually just going to swipe this one right under the bed. We're going to go back to what we were talking about, that MLB players need to understand that right now their worth is about half a season's worth. So you got to be – how in the world can you possibly get paid more?
Right. And that's also part of the reason why they're doing 14 team playoffs, because that's going to bring in more money for not only the players but the teams. It expands it a little.
Right. Exactly. And I'm sorry, man, Trevor Bauer and Blake Snell. Look, I obviously don't know your health history, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that you don't have diabetes. I'm going to assume you don't have asthma. I'm going to assume you don't have any of these pre-existing conditions that make you susceptible to dying from coronavirus. So you're telling me that there's this dangerous thing is going on and they want us to play for half the money. Man, for you, it's not that dangerous. You're going to be fine. Does it suck that you'll be sick for like a week or two? Hell yeah. I feel bad for you, man. That's terrible. But right. Dude, this isn't Ebola.
Yeah, it's far less dangerous for them than it is for, say, my 70-year-old parents in Florida right now.
Yeah.
They want to come home. They've been stuck there for 3 months, and my dad basically said, I'm not coming home to Stanford until I know there's a hospital bed here for me. That's a scary thing to hear.
Yeah. That is pretty scary. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, that's just two voices, and that's not how the union works. I mean, if more players decide that it is worth it, that's what these guys aren't really understanding is you guys get paid a decent amount. The rookies, the guys who are still on there. Actually, I think Blake Snell, he hasn't gone through arbitration yet, has he? How long has he been in the league?
His contract is not as big as one would think. Joe, can you look up how much he's getting paid right now, please?
Yeah, because if he's still on his rookie deal, or if he's still through arbitration, then yeah, he's not getting paid. I'd be shocked if he's making the league minimum. Let me put it like that. He's a Cy Young winner.
I think
5-year, $50 million.
Oh, so he has signed a big extension.
Okay, he got the extension.
Listen, guys, you and Trevor, you got to tell you something. It's easy for you to say. It's easy for you to say.
Come on, especially for Trevor. That guy makes so much money signing those one-year deals every year.
Yeah, easy for you to say. The guys who are going to be paid less than that, I mean, they need that cash. They need that paycheck.
I mean, there were guys who were relying on spring training to get a chance to make this team and keep their career alive.
Yeah.
They might not get that opportunity now. That's a big deal.
Yeah. So you'll see a lot of guys who don't make a crap ton of money will vote to play again. And then Snell and Bauer, sorry, guys, you got to play.
Bro, it's going to be like the movie The Replacements. You and I are going to make the Yankees somehow. Yes. It's going to be great.
Okay, I think I can hit a home run in Yankee Stadium. Hear me out. Listen. No, don't shake your head. Listen. Listen, damn it.
I'm listening.
Down right field is 314 feet in Yankee Stadium, okay? I could hit a ball 314 feet. I really think I could. I think I could hit a ball 314 feet. I would just have to really pull it and hit that foul pole. I think I can do it. I could do it. I can't
You would
do
be
it
the
to center
DH
field,
first
but-
baseman for sure.
Yeah. I mean, first base, I'd be good at that. I don't know
And
about. I don't know
would
about
be the
DH.
pitcher.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd be okay with that. I mean, I think you'd be a reliever because I don't think you're stretched out to go more than.
No, you are correct there. I was very, very good in my first 2 innings, and by the third and fourth, I would get fucking destroyed.
Yeah, that sounds about right for high school players. I mean, high school players don't really tend to pitch more than like 3-4 innings. But yeah, put me in Yankee Stadium. Give me 1,000 tries. I will hit a home run, probably with none of them. But I could get lucky, and if I really pull it down right field, I think I could nail that foul pole.
Well, you could if I was pitching. That is for sure.
I wouldn't. It would hit the bottom of the foul pole. I'm not saying I'm hitting like the grating or anything, but I think I could just clear the wall.
My best game. This was pretty funny. I struck out the side the first 2 innings in a row. Then I had 2 strikeouts in the third inning, and then the next guy who came up rocked it 370 feet, hit the fence inside the park home run, and I just told the coach, "Yeah, I'm good.
I'm out of here. I've done my duty."
I'm done. I got fucking 8 strikeouts. I'm done.
To this day, it remains Evan's greatest game.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to this fun little exercise. Now, Evan and I are Yankee fans, so we can only do this from the lens of the Yankees. If you're a fan of another team, maybe we'll find a Mets fan somewhere, but I hope not. If you're a fan of another team, feel free to shut up. Feel free to tweet us your answer to this. What if there was at the end of this season an expansion draft? So how would that look? Who would we protect? You get to protect. So before I get into who you can protect, we're gonna do this 1998 style because that's the most recent one. So we don't know what new stuff they would add. So we're just gonna assume that we're doing 1998 rules. And here are the rules. For the first round, you protect 15 players. Any player in the entire organization can be taken except for those 15 players. And if they're minor league players, any player with less than 3 years of playing time and no major league experience, those are protected as well. So if you have a minor league player that has never sniffed the major leagues and they've been in the minors for less than 3 years, they can't be taken.
So they're already protected. So like Jason Dominguez, he's already protected.
Already protected, yeah.
Okay.
But a guy like, I'm blanking out. Oh, Estevan Florial, he would not be protected because he hasn't played in the majors, but he's been playing for more than 3 years in the minors.
Right. So same with like Clint Frazier then. He's no longer a prospect anymore.
Right. Plus, he has major league time.
Right.
So any player, no matter how long they've been playing, if they've played at least a day in the major leagues, they can be taken. So, here's one last thing. If you have players on your active roster that have no trade clauses, they have to be part of your 15. So that means for the Yankees, 3 players are already protected: Stanton, Chapman, Cole. That means the Yankees only have 12 spots left.
Okay, got it.
So those no trade players, they take up your part of your 15.
See, that's really interesting because I might have not taken Stanton.
Yeah, I might have just waved Stanton out there to see what happens, but the guy has a no trade clause, so per his contract, he has to stay in New York.
And, it's funny, too, because a lot of people, when we made that trade, kept saying, oh, he used his trade clause. He doesn't get to keep it now. That's not how a trade clause works.
No, that's just you have it. It's not
for the length of your contract.
It's not a one-time deal. You get to keep that trade clause.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. And I think it would be interesting if you and I go back and forth. We have 12 players.
That's fine.
I want you to go first.
That's fine. And then I actually want to talk about a really cool Mets article that I read today.
Yeah, go for it. So I'm actually going to write these down. So we have the 3 already. Stanton, shut up.
God damn it, Joe.
Cole, and Chapman. All right, go ahead. Pick the 4th player that's protected.
Gleyber Torres.
Cool. Yeah, that's what I would have done too. I'll do next. Aaron Judge. Next. We have 10 more to go, so just
Gary Sanchez.
Sanchez, of course. Sanchino. Gonna get Sanchez on there. I would protect Aaron Hicks.
Yes, thank you.
We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Tanaka,
really? Interesting. Okay.
dude, the playoffs alone is
I
worth
feel
keeping him for me.
I feel you. Yeah, you're right about that. Wait a second. When's Tanaka a free agent?
This year.
So this is his last year?
I'm pretty sure. Him and Paxton.
Then he can't be protected because the draft takes place at the end of the year. He's already a free agent. He's not on the Yankees anymore.
Son of a bitch.
So Tanaka's not one. So that means we don't have to worry about protecting him.
Okay, well then we don't have to protect DJ LeMahieu either because he's also a free agent.
Yep.
I will go with – damn, this is really hard now.
Yeah.
I guess Severino, but he got the extensions, right? Yeah.
Yep. Okay. This is getting interesting now. I will go bullpen, and I'm protecting Ottavino.
Yes, good one. I will protect Zach Britton.
Good. Yep. Okay.
Ooh, I got a good one for my next one if you don't take it.
Let's just see. I want to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, we got only 5 more to go. I'm like looking at. Oh man. I'm gonna cheat a little bit, and I'm going to look up a player just to make sure that he falls. Just to make sure he falls under. Yeah, I'm gonna go Albert Abreu.
Interesting.
I don't want anyone snagging him. He's been in the minors for more than 3 years.
That's a good one.
He stays.
Chad Green.
Okay, Chad Green.
I think he's going to be very popular coming up soon.
True. Now I really got to start thinking here.
Yeah, now it's tough.
Yeah. I'm going to protect. I'll do it. I'm going to protect Frazier because I know you hate him and I kind of hate him too. We can't just let him go for nothing.
No, you can't.
If he's going to go to another team, we got to get something back.
But you know what that brings up? The 3 that we need to consider now are Voit, Gio, and Andujar.
Yeah, and we only have 2 spaces left, I think. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, we got 2 spaces left.
Yeah, and you're a Gio guy, and I'm an Andujar guy.
However, I will say, you know what? I don't want to influence your decision, so go ahead.
I was going to go with Voit so that you can make the tough one.
Okay, so you're going Voit. I'm going to go Andujar, and I know you might find that surprising, but the reason I'm going Andujar is because he's younger, he's cheaper, and, at the end of this season, we're looking at a guy who's going to be 28 versus a guy who's going to be, what is Andujar turning, 25?
So, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather take the younger guy and, risk him for longer than a guy like Gio, who I love Gio, and I do think that his breakout is legit, but I just see more value in keeping Andujar long term than Gio.
I do too. I would have picked Andujar. I definitely like the fact that he can just pull the ball all over the field. He's a good, doubles hitter. We need that.
Yeah. So who do you think would be the first? If there's someone left from the Yankees, who do you think would get taken? Because like we said, Gardner wouldn't be taken.
No,
Anyone who's on their last year of their contract would not be taken.
it would probably be Gio or Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery maybe. Maybe Herman.
Yep, Herman would be a good one, but the only thing that might sway what happens with Herman is his domestic violence thing.
True, but if he's a good player, someone will go for him. I mean, hell, the Yankees traded for Chapman because his domestic violence issues.
That was one of the most brilliant moves I've ever seen.
It basically eliminated leverage from the Reds.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers didn't want to do it anymore, and the Reds basically, same reason we got Stanton. They only had one option left, and with Stanton, the same thing. We had two options? It was Dodgers or Yankees at the end of the day.
And way back in the day when the Yankees got A-Rod, it was the same idea.
Yep.
A-Rod was going to go to the Red Sox. He was going to restructure his contract. The Players League was like, if you do that, we'll cut your balls off and make you eat them. And Alex Rodriguez saying, wow, that would really hurt, and that doesn't sound appetizing. He decided to not get traded to the Red Sox.
Then he was dirty against the Red Sox, slapping gloves and shit.
Oh, you make me want to die. Yankee fans, tell us who your 15 would be. Remember, you got to have Stanton, Cole, and Chapman on there. Non-Yankee fans, tell us who you would go with. I mean, I would ask Joe, but the Mets don't have anyone worth protecting anyway.
Yeah, and this is a good question.
Wait.
What? Damn it, Joe.
Worth protecting on the whole team?
Yeah, I mean, I guess DeGrom, but does DeGrom have a no trade or no?
Nah, I don't know any of this.
The Mets don't give out no trade clause because they suck.
Actually, no, Joe, come back. We need you for questioning.
Okay, all right. Questioning. Question me.
Or you want me giving us questions, you jerk. Jesus Christ.
God. This is your brain on Mets.
Oh, man. I need a break from all this.
Our producer's so good at producing.
All right. Got a question. Who was the most unlikely team to ever win a World Series? Like a team that just should not have won it.
I can answer this in one of two ways. One being like, by the time the playoffs started, I would say that the Cardinals in 06.
Oh, that's mine.
Yeah, I mean, 83 wins, a team that was just barely above 500.
Yadier batted .216 that year.
Yeah, yep. I mean, that team should not have even been in the playoffs, but considering that Central was a flaming turd that year, they managed to get in.
That was a bad stretch of World Series anyway, because didn't the White Sox win the year before, and they were a pretty dreadful team, I think.
I don't remember. I don't remember what their record was.
I think they won in the 05 season.
Is that like Canerco, like those teams?
Yeah.
Yeah, and didn't they have Tomey on the team that year? Wasn't that like the random year Jim Tomey was on the White Sox?
Might have
Probably
been
at the end, yeah.
I think it was. I think he was on that 05 team.
That was a weird team.
Yeah, it was. In terms of bigger picture, I would say the 01 Diamondbacks, because, I mean, the team was sick, don't get me wrong. You look at that roster and you go, of course they won it. But when you think about the fact that they were only in their third year of existence, that's pretty wild that they managed to win one.
Fact at how they did it. They maneuvered their pitchers so well so that Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling could play that final game, and that's why they won.
Yeah. What do you think, Evan? What do you think are some unlikely World Series winners?
I mean, if the Mets won in 15, we could have said them.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that, actually.
Well, that's a wrong answer, actually.
So the 2015 Royals.
No, that was likely because they were playing the Mets.
Yeah. It was very likely.
Gee, all right. Later,
And my
guys.
neighbor at the time was a Mets fan, and she kept banging on the walls and making noise. So when Kansas City won, I did the same thing back to her dumbass.
Did you poop on her face after?
I wanted to, but you
should have pooped on her face.
you know what I did a couple times when we moved out? I would go back. I live in the same area, so the building's literally across the street from my new building. For about a month, I'd go back and I'd ring her buzzer in the middle of the night and then run away.
You're such a stupid asshole. Why would you're such a child? I swear to God, as if everyone didn't already know, but that's so goddamn stupid. And you're laughing about it like it's the greatest accomplishment. Like, man, I sure got you. How do you know
did.
she even woke up?
She woke up.
How do you know? I would sleep through my buzzer.
It's a pretty loud buzzer in the building, bro.
You don't know. You have no idea. For all you know, you were just some idiot ringing buzzers and thinking nothing happened.
It rings on your cell phone. So unless her cell phone was on silent.
I mean, I keep my cell phone on vibrate.
She was an old lady. I'm not sure she knew how to do that.
You fucking rang an old lady's bell at the middle of the night? An old lady.
How old did you think she was?
I don't know. I figured this was someone like between their like 30s or 40s. Hell, maybe even 50s. But if it's by old lady, when I think old lady, all frail and doesn't know goddamn how to use a cell phone, I'm thinking like 70, 80.
Then why? Yeah, she's at least 80. And why is she staying up till midnight watching Mets games for? You eat dinner at 4 p.m. and you go to sleepy time. That's what old people do. Ridiculous. I got to stay up and listen to this Mets shenanigans all month of October. It was bullshit.
What if they said only the Mets are playing this year?
Again, but how would that work? Like split squads?
Who are they playing? Themselves?
like when they do split squads in
no, they're just winning. They're just like, these guys are going to win.
Winning what?
These guys are winning so hard that only they're going to play this.
It's funny. I think that participation trophies would be the only way for the Mets to win anything. So possibly. That's possible. Yeah, maybe they would do that to feel bad for the Mets.
Oh my God.
These guys just win.
So
they win so hard. Oh yeah, sorry.
No, you're good, Joe. The Mets article I read today was really interesting. It was called The Trade Tree, and it basically connected trades to each other. So they traded for one guy, and then he was involved in the next trade.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that lasted for a record 56 years. Do you know the player that it ended with? And compensatory picks count.
Okay. I'm gonna say
R.A.
No, close, but no.
Close, huh?
Close. I get. Well, they played
like
together.
Those years, yeah. Jose.
Also very close. He played right next to him.
Oh man, I got that whole infield.
Wilmer.
David Wright.
Oh, I figured Wilmer Flores, but they never did trade him.
How is
it
he
stopped when they
trade?
released David Wright. Because Wright was a comp pick, I'm pretty sure. You got him because you traded someone else.
Oh, okay.
So it only would have continued if you guys had traded David Wright.
Got to keep the
which of course he sucked and nobody wanted him. So that was impossible.
Nope. David, I love you.
He's the one Met you can't bash. They lose their fucking minds when you do that.
Yeah. Mets all-time hit leader at like 1,500 hits. Good job, guys. Good fucking work.
This is 27 down.
It doesn't work that way, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're done. I think you can actually call it. I don't know.
Okay. This is 27 down. The perfect podcast for the perfect game. See you guys on Tuesday. Have a good weekend.